At this time, we give the word to Dr. Raul Queiroz Feitosa, Chairman of GEOBIA2012.
Dear Dr. Júlio César Lima Dauge, dear Professor Luiz Carlos Carvalho do Carmo, dear colleagues, dear students. It's a great pleasure and an honor to welcome you to the 4th International Conference on Geographic Object-Based Image Analysis, GEOBIA 2012 in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. On behalf of the Pontifical Catholic University of Rio de Janeiro and the Brazilian National Institute for Space Research, I want to thank the International Society for Photogrammetry and Remote Sensing and the Association of Latin American Specialists on Remote Sensing for the support provided to the organization of this event. I also thank the fundamental support received from our sponsors, CNPq, Petrobras, Engemap, CAPES, FAPERJ, Sulsoft, Exelis, AMS Kepler, Trimble, and Tritec. And I thank each one of you in the audience for coming here to learn and to share your knowledge in GEOBIA 2012. I know that many of you took a long way up to here. Some of you are coming literally from the other side of the planet. And I appreciate very much having you all here today. This is, as it was already mentioned, the first edition of a series of meetings started in 2006 in Salzburg, Austria, followed by Calgary, Canada in 2008, and Ghent in Belgium 2 years ago. I believe that the committee that selected Rio to host this conference was moved by at least one motivation and then had at least one concern. The choice of Rio would have an appealing symbolism. It would be the first time that the GEOBIA conference would take place in the Southern Hemisphere. In Rio, GEOBIA would conquer a new continent. This would be a symbol of the worldwide emergence of this field. On the other side, the travel to Rio would involve a much higher investment in terms of energy, time, and money for most attendees of the earlier conferences. To be honest, my colleagues of the organizing committee and myself share the same concerns. Would the GEOBIA people be willing to come over to Rio? Would it be affordable for most of them? These were some of the questions that we made to ourselves many times during these 2 years. Indeed, as the time went on, the reasons for such concerns grew stronger. The economic crisis reduced the available funding in most countries. And to make things even worse, Rio de Janeiro became eventually one of the most expensive cities in the world. Well, to abbreviate my account, these worries faded away only a couple of months ago. According to my last report, which is still not final, we have here around 160 participants from 28 countries of all continents gathered here today. The reasons for choosing Rio outweighed the concerns. In view of the circumstances, these numbers attest, in my opinion, eloquently the growing and worldwide interest in the theme of this conference. And what are the drivers for such emergence? Well, this issue has been already addressed in a number of publications. I limit myself here to mention just one illustrative example. As you all know, in 44 days from now, the United Nations Conference on Sustainable Development, Rio+20, will take place in this city just a few kilometers from where we are now. And referring to that conference, the UN General Secretary, Mr. Ban Ki-moon, said in his speech during the 66th section of the UN General Assembly the following words. As I see it, we have 5 imperatives. The first and the greatest of these is sustainable development, the imperative of the 21st century. In a recent reunion of the Brazilian National Commission for the preparation of Rio+20, the Brazilian Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation, Mr. Marco Aurelio Raup, emphasized that the use of information derived from remote sensing data is indispensable to any consistent policy towards sustainable development. And again, in the words of Mr. Ban Ki-moon, sustainable development is about saving the world, lifting people out of poverty, advancing economic growth. With no doubt, an extraordinary challenge. GEOBIA is exactly about transforming remote sensing data automatically into useful information. GEOBIA may bring, therefore, an invaluable contribution to the preservation of our planet and to the future of the mankind. This explains, in my opinion, the remarkable emergence of GEOBIA in the recent years. This explains why this conference is so important. There are reasons to be optimistic in regard to what will happen here during these days, and I want to name just a few. First reason for being optimistic, we have here a group of eminent special guests. Our keynote speakers are acknowledged leaders in their fields at the world level. The panelists who will close this conference on Wednesday evening with a debate under the theme Achievements, Challenges and Trends are co-founders of the so-called GEOBIA community. Moreover, we have in this audience representatives of most major GEOBIA research groups in the world. Thus, the requisites for a high scientific level are met. This is my reason number one. Second, many in this room are participating in a GEOBIA conference for the first time. They are people whose backgrounds and careers were built not exactly in GEOBIA, but in related fields. So this meeting will be a great opportunity to establish new relationships with people having common interests and complementary skills. Cooperation is a major driver of the scientific progress, and I expect that this meeting will be the starting point of new, highly productive joint enterprises. This is my reason number two. The last reason I want to mention refers to the preparation of new generations of experts. This is also a mission of an event like this. And I am equally optimistic in this respect. Indeed, we have here a large number of students. Around 1/3 of the attendees are students. This conference also aims at motivating young scientists, exposing them to insightful talks, and providing a rich material for their professional development. For the first time in this series of meetings, all talks will be recorded in video and later posted on the conference webpage. I hope that these videos, along with the proceedings in the text form, will become a valuable source of study and reflection, not only for the new generations, but for the whole GEOBIA community all over the world. This is my reason number three. There are many others, but I think this is enough for you to share with me the same high expectations about what we are going to experience these days. With these considerations, and on behalf of the organizing committee, I declare the fourth conference on geographic object-based image analysis 2012 formally open. I wish you a fruitful and enjoyable conference. Thank you very much.